All right, so welcome back to After Hours Vape
Oh,
Reviews.
now is talking hard. Now is it becoming?
Just because I screwed up or you screwed up in the last video doesn't mean I can speak any better.
Dropping the ball because you screwed it.
All right, so anyways, last week we talked about the Rafale by UL. Loved the crown. Loved it, so I was really excited to get this and see what it could do.
And if you want to see a sick-ass Darth Vader impersonation, go check out our introductory video.
They would have seen it already.
They might not, could have.
I doubt they fast forwarded through the introductory, and I'm sure they wanted to know what we were reviewing.
So we're going to be talking a little bit today about the Rafale.
So I want to make one correction real quick. In the intro, I said that the .2 was a Canthal. Everything except for UL's nickel bills, the .1 nickel coil, is stainless steel 316. Okay, go ahead. That's all I want to say.
I was not aware of that. That might have actually answered a couple of questions I had. So I'm colorblind, so that means the little rings that you find at the bottom of there, I don't pay much heed to those. So you learn something new every day. I like the Rafale. I do have, and it's weird, because I have a lot of criticisms about it. We'll start with the criticisms first. First off, I broke the fuck out of my tank. Let me see if I can get this in. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. I broke the shit out of it. I had a mod ring on there and everything, and normally we're pretty rough with the stuff that we're reviewing just to see how much abuse it can take. But it wasn't like dropping it on the floor and I picked it up and I was like, oh, it's broken. I was rough with it and it was fine. I woke up one day and it was shattered, and I have no idea how it happened. It was shattered underneath the mod ring, so that's kind of a no-no.
You were playing with it while you were sleeping, weren't you?
That sounds like something my girlfriend once asked me.
Oh, okay, so yeah, he broke his. I broke mine as well. I'm on my replacement tank also.
So the glass isn't the sturdiest, and the design of it doesn't make it super hard to break the glass.
What's funny is I dropped mine from my recliner about yay high onto one of those computer pads.
Or like little plastic
Yeah,
ones
little
with the teeth on the
plastic
bottom.
Just dropped it, from here down, and the glass frickin' shattered.
I will say, for a couple days, I literally, and some of the other people in here can attest to this, I threw it from one end of the store onto this couch from the other end of it, and it bounced off and hit the floor. That didn't break the glass. I have no idea what broke the glass. But it's easy to replace, and I don't think that that's I don't think that's an excuse for it. But yeah, I'm not fond of the glass. I'm also not fond of the fill, because here's a little funny thing that happens. You twist this guy about a turn and a quarter over to that way.
Turn and a half.
Turn and a half. And it opens up the fill ports there. Even if you stick that little doodad right down in there, odds are it's going to shoot back up out the other end.
You have to fill it slowly.
I have no idea how that's a thing. I even took it apart a little bit to look at it, and it doesn't look like that's what should happen.
How did you take it apart?
The glass comes off, you can look at it up from the bottom.
So you weren't really able to see why it would do that?
I was not able to see why it did that for sure. It's really fucking weird. You can kind of see it if you look in here. It doesn't seem like it should do that. So that's a weird thing. What I do love about it, I love the airflow on it. It clicks into place and it's absolutely perfect. At one full diamond open there, it is exactly what I like. And I kind of like the flavor out of it. It reminds me of the original crown tank. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
speaking issue again.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I love it for its flaws. No, I like it. It's a really easy tank to use. It's easy to change out the coils. It's easy to get them primed, except for the little weird lip that they have in the coils of them. All in all, I think that for a beginner intermediate, I think that it'd be a good tank. I don't think that it'd be a good tank for people that are a little bit more advanced, but all in all, I don't hate it.
See, okay, so
Oh, you still have your condom. I lost my condom 1 day in.
Oh no, I made sure I kept my condom. Like I said, I broke my glass as well, or my tank as well. My first fill, I primed it with the .2, went in, started filling it, and next thing I know, because I'm not paying attention, I'm just thinking that it's just gonna fill. Next thing I know, I just feel it gushing over my hand.
Reminds me of my Harry Potter fan fiction.
So anyways, I guess I think that they could have done a better job, made it, when you turn it a turn and a half counterclockwise to open it, I think that they possibly could have made it so it dropped down a little bit further, so it may have mitigated that issue.
Or make the holes bigger, for Christ's sake. They're so tiny.
You're not going to be able to fill this thing with a dripper. One of the little drippers.
Yeah, the little eyedropper things.
You have to use a unicorn tank a unicorn bottle that's got the long, narrow tip.
My Harry Potter fan fiction.
We're not going there though. The airflow. If you have this thing wide open, which like I said, I've got the 0.5 in here because I burnt the crap out of the 0.2 within 2.5 days.
I'm still on that same coil we put in that video.
I actually enjoyed the 0.2. It had a little bit more flavor, but I like an airy draw. I will tell you, this is an airy draw to the extreme.
Yeah, I can't have it all the way open. I like a hard draw.
Yeah, I mean, if it's all the way open, it's an extremely cool vape. It doesn't matter how hot you're trying to get it. It is cool. There's way too much airflow. I've got it wide open right now. Now, don't get me wrong. It can produce. It can produce very well. There's just no flavor. And with it all the way open, it's dry.
And I will say, yeah, the flavor is very dry on the tank. But if you have a super fruity something in there, I don't notice anything all that bad. It's when I start to get into the very complex flavors, the blueberry pie, custards, things like that. That's where it stops really showing.
See, and I'm a custard guy. I like my custards. I like my dessert vape. So for me, it was a very mediocre vape. If you close it down a little bit, it's a little bit better. But then you get the issue of the atomizer heating up.
And it does get hot.
It gets freaking hot, which is why I have made sure I kept my condom, because otherwise I would have lost half of my lip to the drip tip. It's all one piece.
That is another critique that I have on it. Oh, also, and one thing, as I look down here, I remembered. They have this whole anti-spitback design in here. I still posit that the best way to keep spitback from happening in your tank is to have your coil properly primed and put in there securely. I don't think there's going to be any amount of weird machinery or weird designs that are going to make that any more or less prevalent.
You're going to get condensation in the patented anti-spitback tubing.
If you keep it standing up like this, then absolutely it helps a lot. But if you lay it down like that, like I do, or any other sane human being does, so they don't knock it over and do this to their tank, then it's gonna do the same thing that any other tank does. It's gonna drip down this the mouth hole, or down the tube in the middle of there, and it's gonna come out the mouth. So I guess what I'd say then is, like, if you're a Coons, it's not gonna be the tank for you. It's not gonna be.
No last names.
That's like the fourth time you said it.
Coons is so much easier for me to say than Chris. I don't know why.
Because I come in here and
if you're a Chris,
I'm gonna slap him.
then it's not gonna be the right tank for you. It's gonna. You heard it. If you're a Shanzi, it's probably gonna be a pretty good tank for you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not bad. I think that just like the Crown, there should be a V2.
I think so too.
I think that they should.
As much as I'm against V2s in general, I do think there should be one in this case.
I think that, a possibility would be to decrease the size of the airflow of the coils, just slightly.
Decrease the size of them?
Decrease the size, because what you're getting is you're getting cool air that's coming straight through, not touching any of the coil, and that's going to decrease the.
I'd say keep the size of the coil, but make the coils more narrow. Because that way
That's what I mean. Decrease the diameter.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Pucker effect.
Okay, I gotcha.
If they did that, I think that this thing could actually be a lot better. Increase the functionality of the fill ports so that you're not getting, it's not shooting out the other side. Other than that, I think it could be great. It seriously could be great. It's a great tank for starters.
I think so too.
I think if you are a beginner to intermediate vapor, I think that you could thoroughly enjoy this, especially using the 0.2 coils.
And the one thing about this guy, I did take a look at some of the coils we have in stock for it. There are a bajillion different types of coils for it. And that's really good for starter and beginner tanks, because that helps you select more exactly what you want out of it.
You're going to be able to cater the vape to you.
When you get up to the more advanced ones, generally they don't have, excluding the TFV4, they don't have as many different types of coils, because they already know what most people using that tank are going to be using anyway.
I mean, I'd give it about 2.5 crowns out of 5. I will say, make sure you prime it. Make sure you prime the coils really, really, really good. I am still having issues with the flavor of the coils coming off on this 0.5. I really, really tried to prime it well. They need to remove that metal ring off the top. That made it so much easier to prime the coils. But other than that, yeah, it's decent.
Did you take yours out, or can you?
I think it's
it part of the housing?
I didn't even try, but I think it's part of the housing.
It's disappointing. Well, thank you everybody so very much for tuning in with us. This has been a week in review on After Hours. We are people just like you.
Now remember, if you like it, or if you want to try it, visit your local brick and mortar. There's plenty of avenues. If you don't know where your local shop is, there are plenty of places you can look online.
www.internet.com/Google/vape shop near me.
There's the Google machine. There's plenty of forums out there that are dedicated to vapors, and they do compile lists of the local shops. And so yeah, just have fun with it.
And as somebody that works in a brick and mortar shop myself, I can tell you that it's people like you that keep people like me employed and keep us being able to bring you fun things like After Hours and a week in review. So thank you everybody so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Shawnee has.
I will not hold on.
This one's gonna be better.
We move at
This one-
one speed.
This,
My speed.
this one's gonna be vicious.